You know, this build kinda sucks. I can do way better than this. No, let's save this for another video. No, you know what? I kinda like this. How many blocks is it though? 2.7 million blocks? Well, I guess we should start with the easy farms first. And there we go, the Piglin Barton farm is all complete. This farm will take a huge role in collecting the Blackstone. Our trading system is going to need a lot of gold to work, meaning we're going to need a gold farm. Alright, now I'm just gonna AFK here for just a little bit, see how much XP we can get. And there we go, we've reached level 100. Now we just need a farm that can collect 200,000 basalt. I wonder how that got there. Now enough with all these simple farms. The next resource we need to gather is 120,000 frog lights. Alright guys, it looks a little small, but you need to trust me, I'm breeding the perfect amount of frogs that could fit in this room. Like I said, a decent amount of frogs. Yeah, I didn't really think this through. I don't know how I'm gonna get all of them out of here. I feel like this is a good time to explain what I'm doing. You see, this is one of the biggest builds I've ever made, so we're gonna need to split it up into 3 sections. Starting off with collecting all the resources and building the farms in the process. And finally, spending the next 4 months placing 3 million blocks for Minecraft's biggest base yet. Alright, perfect. Here's the farm. Now we just need to build it. Now that right there was a lot of frogs, and we need to get them all into there. So I'm gonna hope like right here works, and we're gonna make the staircase. Well, we got that achievement. Oh wow, it's gonna take so much damage. Now I'm hoping with these slime balls, I can put these in my offhand and grab all these leads. I'm surprised that worked. Now we just do the same thing with these guys over here. We AFK'd for around 20 minutes because I got impatient, but this is around how many resources we got. It's quite a lot. Now the next farm that we're doing is the sand duper. We're just going to see how much of the resources we have at the base first, and then any of the rats we'll just get later. Surprisingly, I did have a lot of the resources here. Anyways. So that is all the items. Now we can go to the end portal. I just realized that's not all the items. We need these mushrooms. Now everything in this purple area needs to go. The farm appears to be working, and it seems like it's going good. I didn't bring enough hoppers though, meaning that they're getting stuck there, but we can fix that later.
We have a lot of upcoming farms that use a ton of wood. I could make a simple wood farm that takes 20 minutes to complete, or I could design my own tree farm that gives me both wood, dirt, grass, cobblestone, and ender pearls.
This farm only uses around 3,000 resources, so it's pretty simple to make. All we gotta do is finish gathering these chests. So that is all the resources that we need. Each and every one is filled up. Alright, I'm now gonna start building the farm. So far, we have built 5 simple farms. Eventually, I will go into these insane farms giving millions of blocks. That will require many of them to use thousands of bone meal. Best way to farm bone meal is in 2 ways. And one of those ways is with the Wither Skeleton farm. Now since that is all done, we can move on to the most complicated farm out there. Complicated farms come with complications. This farm is going to give us over 250,000 items per hour. And right now, I have 6 shulker boxes. But I have an idea to fix that. We gather the one resource I don't have for this farm, build the farm real quick, and boom, we're all done. Now with that done, we can reveal the next 2 farms we need to build. We're going to start with one of the most simplest farms out there. Now since we only need 43,000 stone, this farm will work. Before we build this next farm, we're going to AFK overnight at our slime farm. Yeah, this is way more than enough. Once we gather the cobblestone and the glass, we can move on to the witch farm. Luckily, I already spent an hour building one of these farms. Just kidding, I wouldn't do that. Here's me building the farm. Now we got all the resources, let's build the quarry. After doing some slight calculations, we have collected over 1.2 million endstone, meaning this is the first resource we have fully collected. From here on out, things are going to change a lot. We will be cutting down on the number of farms we build so we can focus on gathering the 2.7 million blocks meant for this build, starting with fully enchanting 64 diamond pickaxes. These will be used to gather the stone and most of the netherrack. Let's upgrade the storage system and AFK. I decided to get a lot more stone than I actually needed, but here's all the stone. Now we'll just repair our tools and move on to the next thing. This build requires almost 1 million netherrack. We will try two methods to see which one's faster, starting with the mining method. I have been repairing my stuff at this Wither Skeleton farm, so while we AFK here for a bit, let's recap what I just did. During that time, I made a giant hole in the bedrock for better access and mined 200,000 netherrack in around 50 hours. Meaning to get all of it, we're gonna need to mine for 250 hours straight. But before we do anything crazy, I built a better storage system for our sand duper to gather the 63,000 purple concrete. There's way more here than it actually looks. Remember that basalt farm we made? Well, we were only able to get 53,000 basalt before I realized there's a much better way to do this. I'm going to make a complicated storage system to fit this basalt farm from Razeworks. Then gather the resources via Ligmatica and build it without any issues. At least that was the plan. Now, what am I saying? This went perfectly. No more procrastinating, let's AFK. Right here in my inventory, I have the resources to build a warden switch. Why am I going into the deep dark? Great question, because I'm stupid. The actual reason for that is that we have to build our final 5 farms. These are some of the most complicated farms out there, and they're not resource friendly. We will start with building the first 2. The iron farm requires zombies to be name tagged, and ancient cities have the best chance for name tags. That's why we're here. I built this cozy little home so I can breed 16 villagers. We are building a villager breeder with 8 levels, which isn't a lot, but it should still work. So I'm gonna just chuck some food down here and call it good. That took way longer than I thought, and it's all these guys' fault. They were causing issues. Well, that's all the villagers we need, so let's get to building. I have this iron farm we need to build, so let me explain my plan. While we take 3 hours to build the iron farm, in the process, the villager breeder will be popping out villagers like it's nothing. Each of these sections is a mini iron farm, and there are 32 capsules times 3 levels. That gives us 96 individual iron farms, which all of them connect to a killing chamber, which then auto-loads the iron and poppies into shulker boxes. Once I'm done building the farm, I'll put 4 villagers followed by 1 zombie into all of the 96 capsules, and then finish the farm. Simple, right? Probably not, but we gotta do it anyways. And the iron farm is all done. The zombies are named, so now all that's left is to AFK for a bit. That AFK session gave us a ton of iron, which will help so much very soon. A while ago, I mentioned that there were 2 different ways we are going to collect bone meal, and the second way is with a moss block farm. Okay, so one of the main resources we're going to need to gather is moss blocks. The only issue about this is that it uses so much bone meal. So I built 2 of them. Here was my idea. Up here, we will have all the moss blocks be converted into bone meal by these composters. Then it will go onto this little fun roller coaster all the way around and refill this one at the same time. This one right here, it's only giving me the moss blocks. Eventually, the bone meal will make it all the way around and get collected up by the storage system, which then the moss blocks end up right here. Funny thing about this farm is I have some sort of farm for every single item I'm gonna need. So, let's get crafting. That was so stupid. Now we got the glass, hoppers, chest, sticky pistons, normal pistons, note blocks, redstone blocks, and all of these other ones. Well, let's build this moss farm. And there we go. We are all done with this farm. We are so close to finally starting the building process. But before we do that, we gotta AFK. And now this means we have finished gathering the moss blocks. Real quick, let's AFK at the gold farm and get a decent amount of gold so we can trade it to the piglins, officially collecting all the blackstone. But before we do anything, I want to stack of beacons for absolutely no reason. It was taking too long, so we only got half a stack. Anyway, our next farm is a snow block farm, so while I grab all the resources, let me show you all what's left. We have 3 farms left to build. Obviously, we have the snow farm, but right after that, we are trying out the last method to gather the netherrack needed. Finally, we will end with a very simple concrete converter. Unfortunately, we need over 9 stacks of blue ice, so let's set up a beacon and get mining. Now here's all the resources, let's get building. And now the snow farm is officially complete. Of course, the last thing we need to do is AFK. Now, it's a very short AFK time, but it gave me everything I needed. This is an insane amount of blocks. But now, we are moving on to the very last resource. And surprisingly, this is all the resources we're going to need. Slime blocks are the only ones I don't have, the rest can be found here. Now, I'm going to travel a couple thousand blocks this way, dig down, and now mine out this entire area. We can also build this machine in the process. That didn't take as long as I expected. Now let's test it once. Of course it works perfectly. Now we will use this machine until all the netherrack is collected. Crazy, because this officially gives us the 1 million netherrack we will need. All that's left is turning the concrete powder into concrete. The great thing about this game is I'm so good at it that I can make any farm just appear out of nowhere. And now that finishes the black concrete and the purple concrete. Now the only thing left to do is to take all of the resources over to the building area. I have been doing this for almost 5 hours now. Well, I guess all that's left to do is start building. And this is the first 2 sections built. Now we're gonna work on this other section, which is almost double what we've just done. And with that done, we have officially placed over 640,000 blocks. This means we are pretty much 23% done with the entire thing. So let's keep going. Last update I'm going to give, and this is what we've done so far. So from now on, I'm just going to build as much as I can until we can finish this. I can't believe I actually did it. It took almost 3 million blocks for me to make, but I have done it. This has been one of my biggest projects ever, but my goal is to 1-up each video. So subscribe to see what I may do next.